Please don't forget to like our videos and subscribe to our channel so that we can bring you like-minded individuals more content. Remember to click on the bell to be notified when we post next. Hello sailors, and welcome back to the channel and another edition of As We See It. In this 3-part series, we ask you to join us on board the brand new Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady for her Mermaiden Voyage. Valiant Lady is the second of the initial 3 lady ships of the new Virgin Voyages brand, and she starts her Mermaiden season here in the UK before moving over to Barcelona for the summer. She joins her sister, Scarlet Lady, into operation, and will be followed later this year by Resilient Lady, the 3rd Virgin Voyages ship. And the good news is, a 4th is in the pipeline. If you haven't seen our As We See It series on board the Scarlet Lady, I'll put a link in the description below. The embarkation process starts on our app. About 90 days prior to your sailing, you can complete all your registration details. Now, the week prior to the cruise, the lead passenger in your booking will receive an email regarding the COVID testing that needs to take place. Their testing partner will send you an email to order the test so you can complete it at home 48 hours prior to the sailing, free of charge. If you cannot test at home, you can test at the port, however it will cost you to do so. Now, the test is quite simple to do, but it has to be done one at a time due to the various photo evidence that you need to take along the process. After you send in your results, you'll then be sent a certificate to say that you're clear to travel, which you'll need to show at the port. In the UK, you need to make sure that you have your vaccination record and proof that you've had the 2nd vaccination. Just remember, if you are using the NHS app for your COVID passport, that you may need to download a new one, as each one is only valid for around 30 days. So let's not keep the lady waiting, because you can practically smell the salt in the air. On the day of the cruise, you will need to go into the app to complete the health questionnaire, because it's now been made available for you to complete. With online check-in completed, it's time to head to the port. Our journey to the port was by train. We were all ready and we got the bus to Waterloo train station, had some time at the station before boarding the train, and we worked on the train on the way down. We arrived at Portsmouth in Southsea Harbour. We went to Gunward Quays, the outlet next to the station. We were looking around the shops because we needed to find a red shirt to wear on Scarlet Night. We found a nice red polo shirt in Superdry, and afterwards we met up with Martin and Stan outside the Old Customs House pub at the Quays. We had a drink outside in the glorious sunshine, and then they offered us a lift over to the port. After our drinks we went to the car park, drove to the port. There was quite a queue for the car park due to Clipboard Kev having to mark off all the car registrations. After we parked, got luggage out the boot, walked over to the port. We were met by the ground crew who put a luggage tag on our cases and took them to be scanned and taken to the ship. We then checked in, we got through security, and then we climbed on board the shuttle bus that takes us through the port and onto the ship. It was in a quick walk up the gangway, and then we were on board. The gangway was quite steep to get on this time, because it was leading to deck 6 right at the bottom of the roundabout instead of by deck 5 and sailor services. I think this was more for the wow factor. We headed up to the room to get rid of our backpacks and to see what changes they had made. Doorbell rang and it was a room attendant, and he had some free Valiant Lady Mermaiden season travel mugs for us. So after dropping our stuff off in the rooms, we nipped down to see Martin and Stan's aft suite. It was then time to go grab something to eat, so we headed down to the dock bar on deck 7 to have some mezes. The weather was lovely, the sun was shining, but it was so cold in the shade. we ended up having to ask for some blankets to wrap around us because we only had t-shirts on. We lasted about 45 minutes before we headed up to the galley to grab a cup of tea to warm up and also to have a look at the different stations that were open. Paul had a sushi bento box and I had an American classic burger and chips. After this, we headed back down to the room to see if our luggage had arrived so that we could unpack. Mine was waiting for us outside the room, and then Paul's came about 10 minutes later. I then went for a wander around the ship to get some video footage. As we set sail, we were up on deck 16, watching as we went past the Spinnaker Tower. It was then time to head back indoors to get changed and ready for dinner. We had booked the Wake for our dinner this evening. The Wake is the steakhouse on board. It's beautifully decorated and right on the aft of the ship. The entrance is a grand staircase down into the seating area itself. Paul had the roasted bone marrow and I had the wedge salad without the blue cheese dressing. I had a filet mignon and Paul had the lamb for mains. We had a side of creamed spinach, brown butter roasted wild mushrooms, some fries, and twice baked potatoes with cheese and caramelised onions. The service was a little slow this evening. When the mains arrived, the plates were lukewarm and so was the food. But we were quite full this evening, so we decided to skip dessert. After dinner, we went for a walk around the high street shops and to purchase our model of the ship. We had booked for the new show in the Red Room this evening called the Untitled Dance Show Party. It was an interactive show where you're not just part of the audience, but part of the cast. The performance and staging moved around in the space, so no matter where you were, you had a front row style view.
Here's some shit you need to know. Cocktails are available from the nice people walking around the floor. Get one, get three, have a great time, but don't be an asshole. When you finish your cocktail, don't put it on the floor. It's not safe. As you journey through the evening with us, shit will happen all around you. Don't get too comfortable. Don't be nervous about audience participation. If you want to dance, dance. If you want to sing, sing. If you're in the way, move. If you can't see something, stand somewhere else. Give each other space. Don't lick your friend's face. Don't touch anything without an invitation. Don't be an asshole. Look at your neighbor. Say hi. Seriously, put your phone down and say hi. Take care of each other. I love you. Don't be an asshole. I'm glad we're together, and I'll see you soon. Showtime!
After the show finished, we decided to head up to Galley to grab a cup of tea before bed. We stayed here and people watched for a while because embarkation days always feel very long and can be quite exhausting. When we got back to the room, the stowaways were very pleased with their heart gift. We had a quick look outside on the balcony before we retired to bed. And with that, good night, sailors, and we'll see you for episode 2 soon.